What's happening, guys? Hope you guys are having a blessed one. It's the Copies 88. As you can see, got the Redcat machete. I'm doing a review on this. Had this truck for almost 7 months. Tell you the pros and the cons of it, and the things that you might be interested or you might not be. Where I want to start here. First off, it just comes with the regular Redcat RCR 2 CE 2.4 remote. Nothing fancy. It's got a nice, feel. Throttle response on it's not too bad. Only thing I don't like, sometimes I feel like the receiver kind of cuts in and out. But then went to go find out why. When I originally had thought that was the issue, it was the plug was loose inside the receiver box. So basic information on the transmitter. It has, the same thing as like the Kaiju and the other models. Steering trim, your dual rate, and your throttle trim. So your bottom button. So that's the remote all in its glory. And then as you can see, I don't have the tires on it, and that's normally when I keep my stuff put away. I just keep the tires up, take them off, lift it off the ground to get the suspension that it's just not sitting on there. Kind of gives it a good storage kind of put away. It's just something I prefer to do. Does it really make a big difference? I don't know. I just like it that way. Plus it gives me more storage room on the shelves. So this is their tires that they come with. They are non-belted, but they have a nice feel to them. Not too small. Not too bad either. Glue's really good on it so far. They are directional, so that's something you want to keep in mind. But yeah, there's the tires 17 millimeter hex, and yeah, that's the pattern. So now there's two different options. I decided to try something different. I haven't decided yet, but this summer this will be a 6S or might even make it 8S depending on how I'm feeling about it. The only thing is making this 8S, I ran into a kind of a Debbie Downer on this one, and I'll show you guys here in a minute. But yeah, this is the body. But yeah, what I was saying though is that the reason why I went with the 4S is because at the time I didn't, I could have saved the extra 100 and just did it. But I was like, you know what? I want to customize. I want to do it myself. This is be my first RC that I upgraded to whatever system I want to put into it. Most likely I'll be trying a Castle 6S system. And just doing something a little different. There's nothing wrong with the hobby one. I just wanted to do something custom, and I wanted to do it for something special for myself. To be honest with you, I was actually impressed in how this 4S setup was. Yeah, for the power punch, just the top end was only at 41 mile an hour, which the size of the vehicle is pretty quick. But I'm looking to try to get to 55, 50. But I did see videos on the 6S model, and in that 6S model, they were only getting like 48, 50 mile an hour barely, if that. I do believe. It's the stock out the box. So when you really think about that 9-8 mile an hour difference, it's kind of like ooh, But I'm sure if you turn the punch up, they would get a little bit more. But either way, this truck is just it wasn't. When it first came out, it was a lot of people turned away, and I can understand in a sense why, and I'll explain that as I get into it. But yeah, this is the 4S. This is why I chose it. Kind of give you a rundown on how the setup is in the inside. You have all hobby wing. You have your Max. Now this is the Max. I do believe that's the Max 8. No, I'm sorry, Max 10 ESC. I do not care for this as much because there's no punch settings. Of course, a lot of you guys know that. So yeah, this is gonna definitely get a 6S setup. Now which is what I like about this setup with the motor. And this motor, I do believe, is let me see, 3674 kV. I'm sorry. Let me see that. Let's say that again. I apologize. 1 second. Let me see here. Get some light on this. This is a. Get some light on here. 2950 kV. I apologize. So I saw JTRC. He's well respected in the RC. He's very honest. I followed him for a long time, and there's a few other guys, but he was one of them that showed me that you can actually take and put a hobby or whatever 6S ESC on there, and that motor handled it. It was hot, handled it well. So that was a good note. So I will change the ESC out, see what the motor does, and maybe leave it at that. One thing I will say, I love what they did though. Shout out. Remember I was talking about this in the Kaiju rundown. They went with the XT90s, which is awesome. And what I like about this is actually a lot of people don't know this. You can run an IC5, EC5 plug into this. It's a little loose in the casing, but it works. So that's cool. At the time, I was running the 7,000 milliamp Z battery in that with the EC5, so pretty cool for that. Let's see, you got your 2 battery trays for right now. I mean, I only run one 4S in it. And there's no point running 2S on this because 2S is just, other than the balance maybe the car out, but it's got a good balance. You run one battery over here, you're synchronizing with the weight of the motor on this side and the center diff. So when the time comes and I up this to 6, then yeah, I'll run 2-3S's right here and that should be good. But that's just my preference. I did change the differential oil out, 500 mil in the middle, and the front and back were good. And it's definitely shown a lot more improvement in the ballooning. It's less and very torquey. It grabs hard, so that was good. Checked over all the bolts as soon as I got it. It's the number one thing I recommend you guys. Always check your bolts. And just remember, don't over tighten it. And I want to stress this out a little bit for you guys. You ever see guys when they're running it and they're torquing down with those power tools? I hope that they're not supposed to. You're not supposed to fully tighten it with them. You just get it down fast enough, and then hand tighten it the rest of the way you're supposed to. I don't know if they all do that. It's maybe they're just getting good at it. But a lot of times, if you tighten down with those power tools, you're putting so much force on it. That's a lot of reasons why a lot of stuff will break. Personally, I'm old school. I'll just do it with my hands. Why not? Yeah, it takes me a little bit longer to pull things up. Now, if I'm going to pull it apart, I can understand using a power tool. So just one thing I want to reference, if you're ever going to use power tools, unless you're taking the bolts out, I wouldn't recommend putting them in that way because you don't know how much pressure you're actually putting on from the hand versus that, and you could be over torquing all your bolts. So so people, times have changed. People, in my opinion, it's a lazy thing. So I don't want to get too far off topic. So yeah, the motor and the ESC, not too bad for the size. The ESC, of course, like I said, I just want a little more oomph. I have videos on this. This thing was actually ripping really good in the snow, being that's a low slung truggy. And that one of the videos I had, it was a steep hillside. It was probably about a 65-degree hill going down into the snow and back up, and just powered its way through it. What else? So Redcat had a recall. Okay, the issues they were having was with these right here, these linkages, and I do believe it was this one and the back. So inside of here, there's a piece, and what they were doing was they were breaking because the depth that they were screwed into wasn't that far in. They weren't bolted all the way through, so they would snap cleanly because they were so thin. And the size, if I could take this off, I wish I would show you. But Exo RCs, if you watch his videos, he's actually done a review on this fully in depth, and he'll show you what it was. And that's why a lot of people were running at the time from Redcat with this vehicle. I will show you why I did research and why I decided this was the best bang for the buck. You gotta remember, this is a lot of vehicle for $500 if you get the 6S, $400 for this model. It really is. A lot of times we knock something until we see it in person and we realize, wow, this wasn't too bad. And it really isn't. Oh, another person did a great review on it, Roadside RC. when it first came out. Check his page out, he'll show you. But my opinion for what it is and what it's designed for, it is very, very unique. Very cool. A lot of people want to call it, compare it to the XRT. Yeah, no. I mean, it's a beast in its own, and XRT is a beast in its own. Size-wise, yeah, the XRT is 1.5 inches longer, and it's definitely a little bit wider. That's where it's got it at. But when you're thinking of price range, honestly, for what it offers, I find this thing more where it's at. You know, you just got a couple little curves you got to go around. Things you might want to touch on this, but for the price and budgeting and what you get for all the RC that it is, I would go this route. I really would. And that's just to each his own. Some people got the money, but you know, I think it's a great truck for what it's worth. So let's see. You got your chassis guards, which actually work pretty good. I didn't have too much snow up here. It was more in the backless. We got, let's see, the turnbuckles are really good shape. They got, sway bar linkages, definitely have those, which are pretty heavy duty and beefy. The shocks, they're short throw, but they're big. I mean, you look at it on my thumb, that's a big shock. That's no baby shock. I didn't have no issues with mine. There was another issue out of the box. Some guys, this wasn't attached and they were missing down here with the threads. But that was one of those videos that I'm sure turned a lot of people away. JT actually had that issue, but like I said, Redcat handled it. JT held on to the truck himself, and it turned out to be awesome for him. He enjoyed it, and he tweaked it a little bit as well. You know, sometimes you just give these RCs a chance, or give the company a chance, and they did. They prevailed. They came through. And where I want to get with that, and the reason why I say that is this. This was in my package. This is all extra. This is extra drivetrain. It's thicker. It's heavier than the original one. They replaced that. These control arms. This is what they were having issues with. So they did come through, guys. Yeah, they didn't put them on it. But hey, I'd rather have the opportunity to break these if I do, and when I do, instead put the better ones on. I don't need to put these on right away, you know what I mean? Some people have different preferences. I did hear a video where it would be nice if you could put it on. And nah, not really. I disagree with that. You know, it gives you the hands-on. They cover the butts. They put that in there. It happened. They even put the tools in there. They do battery clamps, and you know, information on what you need to know on how to install it. Now to get this drivetrain off and stuff, you need a 0.5, just so you know. And a lot of kits don't come with it. You might have to get that separate. So I will recommend. It was like $18 for that tool, but you know, I can use it for other reasons as well. But it's a 0.5 to take that out, so it goes down into here. Once you take the center spleen off, you pop that back hinge right out, and it'll come right out. The springs right out. So that's cool. What's the cons of it? For me, it was just the ESC, which I knew I was going to run into that, or the downfalls of it would be the ESC. I knew that was going to be an issue to the size of this truck, and I knew I was going to have to upgrade eventually. That's why I chose that route. Gives me, like I said, a little project I wanted to do on all of my vehicles. So that was the only downfall I could really say with this vehicle for my preference. It holds to the ground nice. The thing about the 8S though that sucks, that I wish I could make it 8S, and maybe there is a way of going around it, and it could be a customization done to it. But if you can see already with this motor, it's down in here. If you kind of can see, if not, we can get some more light over here maybe. But there's the turning radius right there, and in order to have this fit another motor that's bigger, it's going to hit that. There's just no way. So it's 6S is probably the max you're going to go. Anything more than that, it's a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of customizing, I guess you can say. So don't know how that's going to go for you. Good luck with that idea. I tried to think it through. but I do not say, I do not think that that's going to be possible unless you get a shorter but fatter can, and it might be available. I don't know. I have to look into it. But it would be sweet. This thing would, if it was able to do 8S with the motor size, it would be sweet. It would hold it because it's got the weight. This thing isn't light. It weighs 21 pounds almost, and it's without the batteries. The other cool thing is the wing on it's really flexible, solid. It's got a solid wing to it. Beefy. Once again, beefy shocks, real plush. The wheelie bar is not too bad. It does get up. It actually gets up on the torque side, but on a 6S really comes up. But honestly, unless you're running some serious bump it, I would bump this up. Let's say I had a hobby wing ESC in there, I would definitely bump this up to an 8 or 9 because of the platform. It would be sweet. It would just tear things up. What else? That's about it with the inside. And I'll tell you the rating and why I rate this. Now that's a 70-75 spec on this frame. It is beautiful on how they did it. It really is. Great job on that. You can see. Look at the control arms even. Look at that. I like how it doesn't have open composites right there, or dirt and stuff you cram in there. It's real smooth and just easy to be cleaned, thick. And it's a big truck. Like I said, it is 28, almost 28 inches. Yeah, 28 to the back to the front. So it's not small, guys. It's definitely within 2 inches of the 1/5 scale. You got the Traxxas X Max, the Creightons, and all that. They're 30 inches out the box. So, like I said, you're getting a lot of vehicle for the 4 and 6S. $500 out the door, $530 with tax. Half of the amount of those other vehicles. And I'm not saying those other ones ain't nice, but I mean, you really have to see this in person to understand what I'm saying. Exoplex RC just did a review on it literally today on Wednesday, and you should see. Go to his page, check it out. If you don't follow him, check his link. I'll try to put his info in the description. But yeah, it's not a bad truck, man. It really isn't. So I would definitely, if you're trying to get into something bigger, but you want to budget and you have bills, you got things you got to take care of that are more important, but you still want to have fun, this is the way to go. You know what I mean? The wife won't be too disappointed. I do have some other more expensive purchases, but that's just something I do. But I don't mind spending a little bit of money and getting a lot for the bank, for the buck. I'll tell you that, guys, right off rip. Now I score this 8 out of 10. Only because of the power for me, and the 6S platform would be probably where they would get the 9 out of 10. But once I get the 6S platform in there and everything done, yeah, I'm scoring this a 9 out of 10. It handles very well. It's planted to the ground for what it is designed for and what it's capable for and what they made it for short course tracks like that. This truck is awesome. This is not a basher, but you can bash it. You can flip it if you want to. You can do anything with any of these RCs. But I'm scoring this only because of the power plant that I have in it and what it is. But that's just being honest with you. What else did I have issues with that I noticed? It is a little stiff. So I do have to do the suspension, oil that. So I did forgot to do that actually. I haven't had it out in a while. So I would loosen up the suspension. I think it's just a little too stiff with a lighter weight. What else? That's about it, guys. That's it. It's a great truck for the price. I do recommend this. I was just talking to a guy on my page, and I told him anything you're gonna go with Redcat right now, this is actually a great bang for the buck. It's a great buy. I'd highly recommend it for the price, for the size, and for just the fun factor. You know what I mean? I had a blast with it when I played with it. You just don't want to get an RC where you're having to change stuff right away. One thing I give them with the size and weight of this truck, this weighs as much as an X Max. Even with this small baby ESC in here, it's got power. I'll be honest, I will eventually look into Traxxas down the road. It's when they upgrade their ESC systems and electronics. I refuse to spend money on something that's been around for so long, and people are always changing those things out, having to change that out. I can't see spending over $1,000 and having to go spend another almost 100 and something to get the ESC put in, and even maybe a motor upgrade. So people can do that, you know what I mean? It's not that I can't, I just choose to be smart, and these are the options I choose, you know what I mean, for the bang of the buck. It's about having fun, really getting ready to, go out and just rip and have a good time with something. You don't have to upgrade it right away. And then when you do, you're pleased with it, even when you do. So, that being said, thank you, Redcat, for this great idea, this great layout. I really think that you guys are going to go even further with this platform. This is definitely a sweet truck. I'm excited to see how they do with the next idea when they do bump this up to another scales, and add other things to it to finesse it. But right out the door, great bang for the buck, guys. This is Sleek Hobbies 88. Hope you enjoy. And remember, stay blessed. Take care.